everybody. How are we all doing? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to your match recap of last night's Rovers game against Hull City. It's been a rough few days. That's why there was no recap ahead of this one today. Obviously, since I've last come up here, Accrington's game was called off. So I just want to send all my best wishes to Accrington Stanley. They've confirmed a further 19 positive cases of coronavirus throughout the squad there. So, or throughout the club there. So I do wish Accrington Stanley all the best, and I hope that those who are affected recover safely and well. So Rovers are probably their toughest game of the season to date last night. It was one of those games where if Rovers would have gotten a positive result, I think the mood would be a lot better ahead of today. Although I do sometimes feel, I think, and also obviously people are entitled to their opinions, of course, but I do think some of the comments have been a little bit harsh on social media since. So I'm going to try to find a bit of a medium and give my thoughts on last night's game there. So Rovers fielded the unchanged lineup for the fifth game in a row, and it was a game too far, essentially, I think, for Rovers last night. Although what I will say is Rovers didn't go out and completely embarrass themselves, but it was one of those games where you would have to be pretty darn good to take anything off of Hull City. And Rovers started the game better than anyone could have imagined. James Daly nips in literally a minute on the clock, fires into the back of the net. He's really turning into a really exciting young player for Rovers. I think I said before, he reminds me of a young Michael Owen. He's just got a real poacher's instinct to find the back of the net. Very rare you see him outside the box. That's what the Palace fans always said. He's a real goal poacher, and he done that last night. And you can't take away the goal from him. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And Rovers, to be fair, in the first 10 minutes, they done really, really well. They done well. They controlled the game out for the first sort of 10 to 20 minutes. They done all right. And then after that, Rovers just kind of sat back, and it was similar to the game against Sunderland, where you just know at some point they're going to break through. Hull didn't test Jacola much. Jacola didn't have many saves to make, but they were causing a lot of chances, like clear cut. And I think Hull hit the bar in the first half. So Hull, at some point, they were going to break through. And they were playing some good football. And look, they're a team that's at the top of the league, or the top few teams there. Their class is always going to prevail unless you've got something special about you. And we're not quite at that level yet. We're a little bit ways off. And I said before, the teams that are in the top 6, 7, 8 places, you all expect them to be there. No one looks out of place, really, maybe with the exception of Lincoln. But all the teams who are at the right end of the table, you'd expect to be there. So Rovers getting at half-time, and I was thinking that we probably cut ourselves a bit fortunate. We were giving the ball away quite a few times. I'm not going to put him on blast, because I do believe that we lose as a team, not by individuals. But I will say Dave Tutonda, I thought, had a poor game. But he was. But you got to remember who he was playing up against. 6 months ago he was playing for Barnet, in the conference. Now he's up against Mallet Wilkes, who tore Rovers to shreds a couple of years ago at Doncaster. He's a really good player. But Tutonda will learn from that. I'm not going to say to drop him after one bad game there, but it gives Garner some thoughts. I can't see Leahy getting back into the team at the moment. Maybe Saturday's a chance for is it Koyuki, the defender from Burnley we've signed, so maybe that's a chance for him to come in there. Who knows? But I think it's too harsh to drop Tutonda. Someone called him a joke online, which I think is particularly harsh. So the second half got underway, and Hull, straight from the get-go, you had a feeling that they were going to get a new class. Oh, I will say, sorry, we had a fantastic chance at the end of the first half as well from Westbrook. Again, another Hull mistake at the back. Hannon squared it off to Westbrook, and on another day that goes into the back of the net. We can sit here and say, well, he should have scored, he should have done this. But they happen. If Rovers win the game 1-0, we don't talk about it. Had that have gone in, though, could Rovers go on to win the game in the second half? Who knows? But to be fair, they kept going, Rovers, but you just felt Hull were going to get that equaliser, and they made a triple change around the hour mark, and all of them scored. The first goal, to be fair, it was a really good piece of wing play. I thought Tutonda should have gotten out tighter. He should have, when that ball was played out, he should have been out there. on his man. He kind of waited for him to control the ball and pick his spot, really. And I know the guy who headed the ball in there is a free header, but that was a top header. It's a really, really good header on goal. So you can't kind of really nitpick at that, if I'm honest. And then the second goal, I think, was Baldwin gets caught. I don't know if he got fouled. I think Garner hinted he got fouled. I don't think you blame the referee essentially there. I think I don't think the local press really helped that. So the way they worded their article there, I don't think you blame the referee, but I think he just kind of pointed that out. You didn't blame the referee for the loss. That's what I'm trying to say. And they broke away down the left-hand side, or the right-hand side. Rovers left again. That was Hull's. That was their flow of the game, was to go down Rovers' left-hand side, and it was kind of a bit frustrating that Rovers didn't stop that. I would have thought after half an hour of constantly being bombarded down the left-hand side, you would have tried to have stopped that, but we can't change that now. But goal goes down for 2-1, and then you think, well, Rovers have got to make a change now. I think we brought on Oxtumer just before the goal went in. If I'm honest with you, he didn't really do a lot, if I'm honest. He lost the ball quite a few times. Or he lost the ball definitely on one occasion where Hull could have quite easily put the ball in the net there. Whether he deserves a start, I do think the squad needs to be changed a little bit for Saturday. So he could be one that comes in. But I think, oddly enough, Rovers have got a lot of squad depth. But you look at going forward, the players we've got, a lot of them are injured. When you look at players like Barrett, who's still out injured, Rodman's injured. I don't know where the hell Rodman is. I know he had his ear infection, but that could be taking a lot longer than we thought. Jonah Younger's still out injured. So we've got 3 attacking players that are out injured. And I think it just says a lot when Rovers only make 2 changes and you're 2-1 down at home. And I think that just kind of shows that going forward we are still lacking a little bit. And the third goal was, I've not really sort of criticised the team too much, if you like, tonight. But that third goal was a complete embarrassment. You cannot be doing that at any time in the game, and especially when you've got a striker like Tom Eaves, who is a fantastic player at this level. You can't just play a lackadaisical ball like that. Where Baldwin was trying to pass that ball to, I have no idea. So 3-1 was the final score then, and I think Hull, they didn't have to be at their best to beat Rovers last night. They certainly weren't at their best. I think it was Hull's first game where they've won a game and conceded a goal in the process. So it was disappointing in the end. I'm not going to sort of lose too much sleep over it, but I do think it shows that Rovers have got to change things up a little bit. I'm not going to say they're one-dimensional, but we had a similar kind of thing against Burton where we got the goal and we didn't really kick on to get the second goal. We did it against Shrewsbury. Really, we got the early goal and then we didn't really create anything else. And it's come and cost us last night. And Rovers have got to start kind of putting their authority on the games a little bit more. It's a transitional season for Rovers. We're not going to be expected to be near the top end of the table. We know that. It's just certain things that just creep in and they kind of notice. And I will say at least Rovers didn't concede off a set piece tonight, which was a good thing. I just hope against Rochdale we can start to use the possession that we have in the game. Last night, you got the possession, but Hull are a hard team. It's very, very difficult to break them down. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's not ideal. Going halfway into the whole half, turning, going backwards or back to the goalkeeper, and then you lose it. It is frustrating, but these things happen. It was just one of those nights last night where it didn't work out for Rovers. So that'll do it from this week then. My man of the match, for myself personally, would probably be James Daly. He worked really, really well last night. Didn't really put a foot wrong. He scored a goal. Hanlon worked really, really well. Worked hard. So one of those games last night. Rovers do have a few players waiting to return from injury. So when those come back, who knows? Rovers can start to kick on again in the right end of the table. There was no content last weekend ahead of this week's game. It's not been the best week for myself, but all being well, I'll be up with some content for this weekend ahead of the game against Rochdale. So I'll see you all very, very soon. Have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye-bye.